Previously on Accelerate, we reviewed the 2021 Bronco Badlands, where we showed the front, the side, the rear. We covered the interior, all the tech. We also covered the manual transmission. Luckily enough, we got one. The 6+1 crawler gear. I showed you how the crawler gear drives in comparison to how first gear drives in normal for low. We also covered all 7 models and how they fit in, because I wanted to cover somebody who is going to buy one and someone who has already bought one but waiting. So I highly suggest you watch it, because this video will make a lot more sense if you do. So today I bring you our second Bronco version, and this is the 2021 Bronco Outer Banks. Thankfully, the social media gods have worked for us, because the Bronco video is doing very well. So thank you to all the Bronco forums and all the Instagram posts that have lifted us up. But like anything else, when you do well, there are the keyboard warriors that show up. Like this. I made one fundamental flaw when I said this. Wildtrak is the highest, most extreme off-roading version you can get. So to clean up for you guys that are looking at buying a Bronco, the way it's actually designed is this. The Badlands is designed really for rock crawling because it has a front sway disconnect, and the Wildtrak does not. The Wildtrak does come standard with the Sasquatch package, but it's really designed for higher speed bumps. So kind of similar to the Mojave that we did right here. So if you are looking for a rock crawler, the Badlands is what you should be buying, sort of like the Rubicon, and all those prices were in Canadian. And 2 other things, one of which was where this vehicle is built. You see, under the shift knob, it says designed and engineered in Dearborn, Michigan. So I said, so all Broncos are built in Dearborn, Michigan, which is about 2 hours from us. And lastly, where's the bottle opener? I couldn't find it when I was reviewing the Badlands, and that is because they put it, I'll show you in a bit, but look where they put it in the Bronco Sport. So yes, I did make a mistake, and I will own up to it. So let's move on and talk about this 2021 Outer Banks with the modular hardtop in an automatic with the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder engine. So in the front here, this does obviously have the same white Bronco lettering, but it does have shiny piano black and a slightly different front design. It also does not have metal bumpers. It is plastic through and through, but it does have the fog lights in the front. Let's find out if they are LED. Yes, they are LED, and this one does not have the bash plates like the Badlands. They are plastic. So let's check under the hood and take a look at the 2.3 liter and see if it's any different than the Badlands. So you can get 2 engines. You can get the 2.3 liter 4-cylinder that makes about 275 horsepower and about 310 foot-pounds of torque, and you can get the 2.7 liter V6 that makes about 310 or 315 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. But here's the crazy part. That is with regular gas. You put premium fuel in and you bump the horsepower by about 20 and the torque by about 15. And they're both mated to a 10-speed transmission. So let's take under the hood and see if it looks the same as the other one, which is the Badlands. And yes, it looks pretty much identical. There's no difference here. So on the side here is the most glaring differences you can see between the Badlands and this specific Outer Banks. Now, let's start at the front here. This has a plastic bumper. The other one we had was steel. On the side there, this does not have, this is more streetable, but this does not have the bead lock capability tire, a rim and tire, I apologize. And then if you move back here, this is all painted. You see these door handles are painted. The fender flares are painted. And yes, these are body colored as well with the mirrors, but the cool part about this specific one, as an addition, so Bronco's really big on accessories. So this does have the crossbars and they are attached here. You can even see it says right here, accessory ready. So it plugs in all the way right there, and then you put the bars across, and it's nice and sturdy, and it gives us this look really, especially with the hardtop, it's got a really, really nice look to it. Now, the most important part of this Bronco, or all Broncos in general, is to be outdoors. And the only real way to do that is through the tops. Now, this one does have something called a modular hardtop. And modular meaning you can remove pieces of it, sections of it, and you can put it in the trunk. Now, the cool part about this specific one is it just takes 3 individual sort of sliders. You just move over, and then you have one knuckle that opens, and then this piece comes off. And visually, it would look the same as the Badlands when it's removed on both sides. The difference being is you can just remove one portion of it, and you can get that whole section open. Now we're gonna go to the back here, and it's pretty much very similar to the Badlands, but the most important part, besides the fact this thing opens up to 150 degrees, look at this opening, it is crazy, is the bottle opener. Everybody said the bottle opener is right under the speakers. Now look at the difference between the Bronco Sport and the Bronco. This is not in plain sight. It's actually hiding right here, like right here. Come on, who's gonna find that? I'm good, but I'm not that good. Clearly, I only have 66,000 subscribers. Yeah, and only 5% of people are subscribed that watch these videos. Freeloaders, I see you. Watch all the content, but don't subscribe. What's up with that? Now there's 2 main differences with this one compared to the Badlands in terms of options. This one has a carpeted interior and it has insulated panels. And it has a different bag. Check this out. The other one has a soft top bag, which shows you. This one has a hard top bag and shows you which hard top goes inside. Pretty cool. They're actually thinking about you, and that's what I like, thinking about you. And a slight difference in terms of towing. I mentioned that the other one had 3,500 pounds. Yes, the Bronco can tow 3,500 pounds, but when it has the bash plates, it actually weighs a little bit more, so it can't tow almost 3,500. This one has it, so it can tow 3,500. Now, let's compare this to the Wrangler. Now, I'm gonna do a full exterior overview of the Wrangler and a little bit of the truck, and we'll meet you back here in a couple seconds. All right, competition boys, we got a competitor right here, and it is the Jeep Wrangler. The Jeep Wrangler is what Ford wants us to compete this Bronco against. So let's start at the front and talk about a few things, the Bronco versus the Wrangler in terms of looks. So yes, this Bronco is very squared off, big Bronco on the front, big wide lights from end to end that make it look like wide, muscular, square and bold. And let's look over here at the Wrangler. It is sort of square and bold, but it's a little bit more rounded. And you can see that loss in terms of width because the headlights are not here. The fenders are here. So that means this obviously has wider fenders. So if we looked at fenders in terms of width, this is 10 inches wide. And if we compare to the wide fenders of the Bronco, we've got 3 inches. So the Wrangler beats it. So as we move along here, the front bumper is plastic on the outer banks. On the Badlands reviewed, it was actually steel. But on this side here, it's also plastic. I don't know what Wrangler product makes steel. I'm sure you can get lots of versions because there's a million of these guys, a million versions out there. But let's talk about something that's important, and that's the windshield. You see the windshield folds down and sits flat on these little pads there, whereas the Bronco doesn't do that. It has tie downs here that hold 150 pounds of weight, but there is no way that this windshield folds flat. And well, this is clearly in the way. The other next piece is important for people to know is that these side mirrors actually sit right here on this little accessory bar here. And on this side, they sit on the door. So yeah, I'm sure you can get an accessory to fit on different portions of the vehicle, but from factory, the way this sits is on the door. Now, speaking of door, this is the big piece. This door is not frameless. It's a small window. If you look on this side, obviously because the design of it's very squared out, but this door and window, this is a frameless window, so it's a lot more visibility. Look at the visibility of this compared to the visibility of this. Yeah. I'm liking frameless. Frameless is on me, but I like the color of this. I like the color of this Sahara. That is a nice color, but I prefer this color. What do you guys think? And standing here, I noticed the fender flares are circular, completely circular on the Bronco, where they're a lot more squared out on the Jeep, as you see. It's got that square look. But I want to talk about build quality of the doors. Even though the doors come out on both vehicles, I want to show you how this closes. So just listen closely. Which is the man's door. I don't think I can say that on YouTube. Now, I have no interest if you guys have value in that, but I do. I like to know the meat, the feeling, the quality when I touch and feel the door handles. Now, these are painted on the outer banks, and on the Sahara, well, these specific ones are your typical rugged Jeep. Now, this does have the step bars in. It does not have the rock rails on the side on the outer banks. And let's keep moving around the back here, because I think this is where it's important to know how much space do we have in the back of the Bronco versus the back of the Jeep. Let's check it out. One thing for sure is that this door opens a lot wider. This has 150-degree opening, whereas this guy has, I'd say about 120-degree opening. So it's an important piece to know is how much room you can get in the trunk. Now, obviously, I'm not going to test with the seats down. I'm just simply doing a basic test. This is just supposed to be for aesthetics, so you guys can compare what the Bronco looks like against the Wrangler. But I'm going to do this because this is important for people to know. Now, that's with the seats all the way back, and I have exactly 3 feet. 3 feet from the back there, and how wide? So 36 inches and 42.5. So 36 deep, 42 wide. And we have 37. This is 1 inch longer. But how wide? So we had 42.5 and we have 41. So this is 1.5 inches narrower than the Jeep, than the Wrangler, yeah, you get it. All right, before I jump in, I want to talk about 2 quick things. The first is the side steps to get in. They are very handy. They're at a good height and they stick out enough where your feet actually can use them. A lot of side steps or side bars, you try to get in them, they're very skinny and they're kind of useless. They actually just dirty your pant getting in and out. The second thing is this does have coupe-like, as I mentioned, frameless windows. Now, when you close it or open it, the window does drop down, and I like that. It's very coupe-like, and it reminds me of a fancy coupe. Now, sitting inside, these seats do not have the Molly system on the back here, but they are different because these are not marine vinyl. This is actually leather. And the under padding is exactly the same. I think Ford does a great job in terms of the under pads of their seats. This one does recline a hair. Now there is 2 positions. It doesn't really feel like it should have 2 positions. It does, but they're so slight that I wish it had like more positions in terms of reclining these seats. It's like this much of a difference. I would like this much of a difference, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. But as far as color goes, this is something called roast. It's a black onyx with roast. And I'm not sure how they made the word roast. Beef roast? Let's jump in the front because I want to know how good these insulated panels are when we go for the drive. So let's wrap the front up and take this thing for a drive. All right, so I'm going to jump inside the front seat of the Outer Banks. And first things first, yes, this is automatic. So the actual placement of the selector for the 4 high, 4 low, and the GOAT modes is actually been moved. So in the manual, this is forward, and in automatic, it's right here. Now the difference being is that now I have a full compartment in front. That is for wireless charging, but right here it's moved. So it's smaller on the manual and it's larger, obviously, on the automatic. Another interesting piece is that these accents are blue and not yellowy, orangey color, which is an odd kind of vibe when everything's brown and black in here. Now, the center console is exactly the same color. It's that brownish color, but this is different. Blue and brown is sort of an odd piece. It kind of matches when I'm looking at the dash. Now, the dashes are exactly the same. There's no difference. So the point of this video really is to talk about the cabin noise, to show you guys what the cabin noise is like with the automatic and with these tops, because that's what people want to know. If you guys want to take a deep dive in the actual 12-inch screen, that I've done on the previous video, so I suggest watching it. But other than that, that's really what I want to talk about here with this. There are some pieces missing. It doesn't obviously have the front disconnect. It doesn't have the accessory mode up there, but everything else feels good and solid, just like the other Bronco. So let's take it for a drive. All right, so this is the reason why you need to have a review, so you can actually hear what it sounds like when you're buying something that you haven't received yet. So I'm excited to tell you guys how this is gonna sound with these insulated tops here. So these are T-tops and they're insulated T-tops. The other cool piece is in the automatic. Obviously the Badlands was manual, but I like how they have the American flag here. Pretty cool piece. It's basically park, reverse, neutral, drive, and M for obviously manual, and then you have the little toggles on the top here that you can shift gears. This is a 10-speed transmission. You can start this thing in 2nd gear if you'd like, but I'm not. The other thing, this does not have automatic or like active 4-wheel drive. This is basically not on demand. You actually have to manually do it. So right now I'm in 2 high, and if we go through the GOAT modes right here, just to quickly summarize it, it's got normal, it's got eco, It's got sport, it's got slippery, mud, ruts, and sand. So there you have it. Oh, nope, it's 4x4 shifting in progress. So when you put it in those modes, it actually shifts in 4x4. So I'm just gonna put it in normal mode and let's take this thing for a drive. Another thing this thing does have is it does have, thank you, it does have power seats on both sides, which is nice, which is an option anyways, nonetheless. But so this does have the 2.3, not the 2.7. This is plenty. I mean, this is 325 foot-pounds of torque when you put the right gas in it, but it is plenty. But no, seriously, the quietness I want to test at higher speed. Also the suspension. This has really good, softer suspension. And I want to feel how this is in terms of suspension compared to the Badlands, because this doesn't have the Sasquatch pack, it's just regular suspension. This is good. This is good. I mean, the transmission makes a big difference for sure over manual, but this is good. So this does have some GM Hummer vibes. And with that said, you gotta think what GM is doing. They dropped the Blazer, which was not even close to what the Blazer was. This is the Bronco. Like, when you think Bronco, this is what you think. Just more modern and softer, because just the way the world's got soft. But instead, GM made the Blazer, and it doesn't look anything like this or feel anything like this, so Ford nailed it, because they took the right brand. Ford's doing a great job in terms of branding their product. The Mach-E was maybe a little bit questionable, but they had the branding, so they're trying to pull it. GM did a good job, again, with the Denali, but they really dropped the ball with the Blazer. So maybe the Jimmy will be something like this for those that are thinking about possibly buying, you know, a Ford but are still GM oriented. Maybe the Jimmy will be something like this, but they definitely nailed this. Like, they dropped the ball with the Blazer, but they got this, Ford got this right. So more people staring. This is like a stare fest. There's a lot of looks. This gets a ton of looks. What is really nice with these things is visibility. It's basically just a lot of glass and a lot of straight glass, but this is a lot of glass, great visibility. Even in the back, good visibility through the mirror over there. Good visibility. Happy with that. And I feel like a boss. That's why people say this looks like a G-wagon, because it feels bossy, like it's a boss type vehicle, you know. And you get so many different variants, as I mentioned, like the 2-door base with the Sasquatch package, sweet. In like orange, awesome. Or if you just want like something larger and more city-like this, it's cool. I just like the variants. That they're trying to pull a lot of people away from other SUVs or other trucks and into this thing. The only downside though is you can't fit a 4x8 sheet of plywood in here. And people are saying, why would you ever want to do that? Well, if you're using it as a daily, maybe you want to have that storage space where you can just use it as a contractor, put it down, have the doors off, and have a good time, and then all your tools get stolen, you know? Been there. Listen, I'm doing 75 kilometers an hour here, which is about 45 miles or so, 40 miles. There is slight wind noise with the tops, but this is definitely better than the soft top, no doubt. It's still not obviously like an enclosed cabin in an SUV. There's just no way they can do that. But it's kind of in the middle of the soft top and the middle of an SUV. So let's listen here. Full acceleration. Shifts very quick. So this is about 50 miles. I can't hear any noise below me, but I can hear noise above me. So that explains to me that it's basically still a little bit of road noise here. Wind noise, my apologies. All right, let's test this thing from a full dead stop, full throttle, foot to the ground. Let's go. So that was 100. And I would say it's decent. I mean, I'm not, if you're I don't think you need the bigger engine. I'd say you need the bigger engine if you're getting this short wheelbase, because that would be cool. Short wheelbase, a lot of power, sits up high, you know, the whole Jeep thing. It's cool, man. It's not a rocket by any means, but it goes. Man, they're gonna sell a lot of these things. As I sit here and I just look around, I just say, man, they're gonna sell a lot of these things. We'll find in a couple years, I guess, if they will or they won't. Just based on the comments, it seems like they are going to sell a lot of these things. And if you got any complaints or concerns or I missed something, comment below.